Have you ever just noticed that quiet hum? The one that runs underneath pretty much everything you do? It's this feeling of constant effort, of striving. Well, today, let's just quietly look at that feeling and maybe explore what it would mean to end a struggle you didn't even know you were in. Just let that one sink in for a moment. That constant drive, that ambition to get somewhere else, to be something more. What if that exact same engine is the very thing that keeps you from ever really feeling at peace, from ever feeling like you finally arrived? I mean, this is the story we're told, right? From as far back as we can remember. The whole point of life is to become successful, become smarter, become happier. It's this idea that fulfillment is always just over the next hill. When you really boil it down, this whole idea of becoming is just an act of comparison. It's you right now saying, I am this, but I should be that. And in that single thought, a gap is created, a distance. And it feels like we spend our whole lives trying to cross that gap. And this is the real question, isn't it? If we're all living inside this gap, this feeling of not quite there yet, where did it even come from? Was it always here? Or did something or someone create it? The answer, it turns out, is profoundly simple. The gap isn't real. It's a fabrication. It's a story we tell ourselves. And our own thought is the storyteller. And here's how the trick works. First, thought looks at who you are and measures you against some idea it has. Second, it creates this projection, this image of a future you who's got it all figured out. And third, it dedicates all of its energy to trying to get there, to close a gap that it just invented. So you see the perfect trap. Your own mind creates the feeling that you're somehow incomplete, and then it turns right around and presents itself as the only thing that can fix the problem. It's this perfect self-sustaining loop of worry and planning and striving. So the way out isn't to struggle more or to try and force yourself to stop. The key is much, much simpler. It's just to see it, to see the mechanism in action. And in that moment of pure seeing, of pure clarity, the whole machine just naturally starts to slow down, all on its own. So what happens then? If that frantic energy of becoming starts to fade away, what takes its place? Well, this is where a completely new kind of energy can emerge. One that doesn't come from a sense of lack, but from a place of fullness. Now, this doesn't mean you stop doing things. You still act, you still create, but the source feels completely different. Ambition, you could say, is that desperate scramble to fill a hole you think you have. But expression, well, that's just the natural overflowing of who you already are. One is a grasp, the other is a release. And you can literally feel this difference in your body. Action that's driven by the fear of not being enough, it's always tense, right? It's contracted. But action that just comes from a clear seeing of what's needed, it's precise, it's efficient. It doesn't have all that internal static. And here's one of the deepest shifts. Your relationship with time itself begins to change. You see, the entire game of becoming is based on the future. I'll be happy when? I'll be peaceful tomorrow. When you stop playing that game, that whole idea of a psychological future just starts to dissolve, and all you're left with is what's right here, right now. But you have to watch out, because the mind is incredibly clever. It'll hear all of this and immediately turn ending becoming into its next big project. Freedom itself just becomes another goal to achieve, another destination to reach. It's the same old trap, really, just wearing a more spiritual-looking outfit. So, if we gently set aside all the striving, all the goals, all the identities we've built on our past and future, what is actually left? Let's just explore that for a moment. Just stay with that question. If you are not the person you are trying so hard to become, and you are not the story of who you've been, then what are you, right in this instant? What remains is simply awareness, the space in which all of that activity, the thinking, the feeling, the striving, was taking place. It's often compared to the sky. Thoughts and feelings are like clouds and weather, constantly changing, constantly passing through. But the awareness is the sky itself, always here, untouched by it all. So the invitation here isn't to start some new project of self-improvement. It's much simpler. Just begin to notice. Notice those little moments in your day when you feel yourself trying to become something else. In a conversation, at work, anywhere. No judgment, no need to fix it, just a gentle, clear seeing. You see, you don't actually have to fight an illusion. You don't have to tear it down. The simple act of shining the light of your attention on it is really all it takes. An illusion can't survive being clearly seen for what it is. And when that chase ends, what you find isn't something new that you've built or achieved. It's simply the recognition of what was here the whole time, right from the very beginning, before the whole story of becoming ever started. A simple, quiet wholeness that was never ever actually lost.